Hello everyone, it's Dan, your resident Digimon fan. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be having a look at two products for the Digimon Vital Bracelet that I've recently picked up from Amazon in Japan, and I'm going to give a little bit of a first impression / review of them. Now I've only just received these, so I haven't spent too much time looking at them in detail. I have had a little bit of a look at them so that I could give you some impressions and not just go based on face value. See whether you will think this is worth investing in. So the first thing that I picked up was the DIM card evolution file. So this is like a miniature folder which is designed to store your DIM cards and also give you a little bit of information about what Digimon you can get on the card. So I was intrigued by this because I wasn't sure how many you could fit in here and how it would work in terms of giving you the information on the DIMs, which ones would be supported, etc. So we'll go through that one in just a second. And then the second thing was the DIM card holster. So the holster is more designed to just hold the cards and the chips themselves. And we'll go over pros and cons of this. The DIM card holster also comes with this exclusive DIM card, which is the Dynasty of the Evil, which is things like Devimon and Wizardmon as shown on here. So as far as I can tell, you can't buy either of these things separate. They come together as a package. So we'll have a look at that one in a minute. So to start off with, we'll have a look at the DIM card evolution file. So I'll put the price for this somewhere on the screen. I bought this from Amazon.jp. Obviously, please remember that you have to pay shipping and handling, and that will vary depending on where you are based. So if I open him up. So on the back you've got a bit of paper with some instructions in Japanese, which I can't read, quite obviously. And here is the folder itself. So it is quite small if we compare it to the size of a DIM card. That's a DIM card. So fit about two of those in there. On the front you've got Pulsemon and his evolutions, as well as some of the other DIM card artwork. On the back you've got the DIM cards that are supported. So this is the interesting thing for me, is that obviously not all DIM cards are supported. This is going to be for the first wave of DIM cards. So you've got Volcanic Beat and Blizzard Fang, you've got Infinite Tide and Titan of Dust, Impulse City, which comes with the DIM with the Vital Bracelet, Ancient Warriors, which was a limited edition DIM that came with the special version of the Vital Bracelet. So it's actually really hard to find this one now, and I don't have it. And then interestingly, they also have Black Roar and Shadow Howl. Now, Black Roar and Shadow Howl were also trial DIM cards. Black Roar was provided with pre-orders, I believe, and I believe Shadow Howl was something to do with like a Twitter competition back when these first came out. So I think Black Roar is definitely more common than Shadow Howl, and they are not to be confused with the, I think it's Mad Black Roar and True Shadow Howl or something like that. Those are full retail releases, which are still quite rare, but not quite as rare as these. So these are the DIMs that are supported by this. And when I say supported, obviously any DIM is going to fit in here, but in terms of the paperwork, that's what you get. So if we open it up, this is what it looks like inside, and you've got one pocket which has 2 slots for DIM cards, and then on the following page you have where you put the paperwork. So this is the Impulse City one, and that's file number 1, and file number 2 is Ancient Warriors, which is one that I of course don't have. File 3 is Agumon, and then you have Gabumon on the back, so I do have that one. Here we have Volcanic Beat and Blizzard Fang, which I don't have. Infinite Tide and Titan of Dust, which I also do not have. And then on the back you have Black Roar. So this is what I mean by this is actually Black Roar, not Mad Black Roar, because it only has the one line of Digimon. And then you've got Shadow Howl on the back, which is the single line Shadow Howl as well. So that's what you get in here in terms of the paperwork. Now, the way that this works is you're expected to take one of your DIM cards and slot it into here. So I've got Impulse City is already got the chip taken out, so I'll just show you how that fits in. So the idea is that you would put this in next to the page, the paperwork, and then you can see what you can get in that dim card. The issue I have with this is that there are 2 slots for dims here, but each side is a different side of the paperwork. So if I were to put Ancient Warriors down here next to Impulse City, I would have to turn the page for the paperwork, which isn't a deal breaker, of course, but it just seems a bit unusual. I think it would have been better if they had made it smaller so that you could have Impulse City here, Ancient Warriors here, and then you could move it that way. So that's one gripe, but it's not the end of the world. The other thing is that there's a lip in the plastic that's hard to see, but this lip here, so these stick out unless you put them under the lip, and the lip is actually quite hard to get on without doing damage to it. So it kind of gets stuck. If you see up there, it gets stuck on that corner, so you have to like bend it around, get it in there. So I've almost done it a little bit of damage just putting it in there, which doesn't look particularly tidy. But it's not a deal breaker, I guess, if it's just somewhere to store your cards, but it's not very neat. And I had a similar issue putting these in here as well. So it's not a deal breaker. Let's put in one of the dim cards with the chip as well, just to show you what that's like. So if I get my Agumon, I'll put his chip in there. Try and mount it on the bits of plastic. There we go. So chip is on there. Let's find the Agumon. So Agumon is over here. So I'll put this into here like that. You see it fits in there just fine, and then you can put the lip over it as well, or try to, which is what I'm doing right now. There we go. So yeah, it's not too bad. So you can fit 10 dims in here. It's obviously designed specifically for these dims, but you can, of course, put whatever ones you want in here, so it depends whatever you're using. Do I recommend getting this file? I would say probably not. It's not very expensive, granted, but considering it only covers 10, and it might be the 10 that you don't have, especially as for the likes of these 3 down here are actually quite hard to find. For a completionist like me, it's just going to frustrate you that you can't actually put all the cards in here that are designed to fit in here. And secondly, you're going to outgrow this folder very quickly if you're picking up dims left, right and center. So personally, I don't recommend this, but that's just me. There are probably better third-party ways of displaying these cards in a nicer way, but it might be suitable for you. But that's my personal opinion on it. So that's enough about the dim card evolution file. Let's talk about the holster. So the holster is a little bit more interesting for me. I do actually quite like it, but I will show you how that looks in just a second. So here is the front and there is the back. Comes in as one solid piece. I've already taken the tape off, so I can take these out of here. So this is the holster, and this is the Dynasty of the Evil dim card. So I haven't looked at too much detail as to what comes on this dim card, but I do think it's pretty cool. It's nice to have like an evil Digimon set of dims. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a try. Might go for something cool like a Devimon. And then this is the holster. So it's solid black plastic. It doesn't feel too fancy, but it's not too tacky, and it wasn't too expensive either. I really do like the Vital design. It's very appropriate to the product. On the back you've got some text, made in China, etc. And then the product actually opens up from the Vital sign, which is really cool. And the side facing you, let's try not to get my face in it, is where you would put the credit card type parts of the dim card. And then the other side, you've got this foam insert, and then this is where you would put the dims themselves. So what I'm going to do is put these in here while we are here. So we've got the Versus memory. It's nice to have somewhere to put the Versus memory because it doesn't have a credit card of its own, so it needs to have a home. Put Impulse City in there. I will put Agumon in there because I want to give him a try at some point, and my beloved Gabumon. And we'll now put my new dim in here, Dynasty of the Evil. I feel like Dynasty of Evil would have been better, but maybe it's just a translation thing. Okay, here we go. So that's all 5 dims in there. And then in this side is where you would put the plastic bits. So I'm going to put them in order. We've got Impulse City, Agumon, Gabumon, and Wizardmon. So you would take these and you would slide them into there, and you see they fit in there quite nicely. And I have checked. Obviously, I've got 5 dim cards in here. Only one of them doesn't have a credit card, but I have checked to make sure a 5th credit card will fit in here, and it will. So if the 5 that you put in here all have the cards, they will all fit in this bin. So then you would take this, put it back in there, then you've got your little holster. So I actually quite like this holster, personally. I feel like if you were to go on a trip and you wanted to take a few dims with you, not your full collection, obviously, but you wanted to take, you know, 4 or 5, so that you could try training different Digimon while you're out on the road or what have you, then this holster is pretty cool. It's definitely not meant to be somewhere where you would keep all of your collection, but for the 5 that you get, it is really nice. So I guess one of the gripes with it is that because this is not sold separately and it has to be purchased with the Dynasty of the Evil dim card, it means that you can't buy multiples of these without buying multiples of the dim, which is a bit pointless because you don't need multiple. So it just inflates the price. If you wanted to have multiples of these to keep your collection in them, it's going to be a bit of a pain. And the fact that it only holds 5 is quite disappointing, as there are plenty of third-party offerings on Etsy and the like, 3D printed for example, where you can hold way more than 5. So it is a bit disappointing in that regard, but for the purposes of what it is, it's a holster, as in somewhere to carry something when you're on the go. It's not somewhere to keep your whole collection. I think it serves that purpose really well. So personally, would I recommend this? I would say yes. Especially as it comes with a dim card. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was about 1500 yen. Again, I'll have the price somewhere if I haven't shown it already. And for that price, I think it was pretty good. So I'm quite happy with this one. So there's my 2 quick product reviews, the Evolution File and the holster. Holster is a win for me. File, not so much. I'll probably just put it in the drawer and not use it, especially as I have more dim cards, and I'll be looking into alternatives of places to keep them safe when I'm not using them in the holster. But that's everything for me today, so thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you found this useful and it will inform your purchase decision. Please stay tuned for more videos on the channel, and I'll see you again soon.